Hey guys, it's Charlene. For today's card, I'm using the stamp set Always and Forever from Whimsy Stamps, and then I'm using the Random Background Builder stencil and the Uni Alphabet dies from PhotoPlay Say It With Stamps. So let's get started. I'm going to show you guys how to make a pop-up card with no die. It's super easy. I have a piece of cardstock here. It's cut to 5 inches by 1 inch. And you can see I scored it in the middle at 2.5 inches. Then I'm turning it the other way and scoring it at 1/2 inch. Really easy. All you do then is you're going to fold your score lines so you get them nice and creased. Fold your paper in half. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut to that score line and create a 45-degree angle. Then when you open it up, that bottom part where the notch has been cut out, you're going to use some double-sided tape and you're going to apply it on both sides. Don't worry, I'm going to show you again later how this is done. I know I'm moving pretty quickly, but I wanted to just show you the mechanism first before I start creating the card. So once you get your double-sided tape down on your pop-up piece, you're going to go ahead and peel off the release tape. You're going to fold it in half so that that sticky side is on the outside of each side. So you can see there. Now you're going to open your A2 size card and you're going to adhere the notched part so that it runs along that center line of the card. And then you can just close your card up and you have this pop-up piece inside of your card. We're going to get started on the card, but what's so fun about this is you can make lots of different kinds of pop-up cards with this technique. You can make that piece longer than 5 inches if you want to put more stuff on it. You can make it taller as well if you have the need to make it more stable. But you're going to see when this card is done, it's super easy and anyone can do it. All you need is a piece of cardstock and a pair of scissors. That's it. If you have a score buddy like I do, it makes it a little bit easier to score those lines on the piece, but you don't even need that. So I'm coming in here with the Random Background Builder stencil and I'm using the raindrops, and I'm just coming in and I'm going to create a nice little background of raindrops that I'm going to put my stamped image on top of. Now the nice thing about this card is even though it's going to be a pop-up card, it's going to have pretty minimal dimension. So it could go through the mail if you want to make a card like this in just a regular A2 sized envelope. I really like that. If you're making a pop-up card, the key I have found is go ahead and decorate everything first, get all the elements onto your pop-up piece, and get everything ready to go before you adhere the pop-up piece on the inside of the card. And the reason is because you could see here how I'm stenciling on the card base. That would be really hard to do if I already had my pop-up piece on the inside of the card. So just keep that in mind. Get your design in your head, decide where you want to put everything, and then go ahead and last of all, put in that pop-up piece. You can see here I've got my random raindrops everywhere. I think I'm just about ready to go now. I like how my little stamped people look. So I'm going to pop them up with some thin foam tape because again, I don't want to add too much dimension to this card. And I'm just going to put them in the center of the raindrops. We're going to have a really clean and simple card front on this card. And you could do any stamped image, any stenciling, whatever works for you for the style of card that you're trying to make. So now here I'm going to show you again so that you can see a second time how to make that pop-up piece. This is 5 inches by 1 inches, and then I'm scoring it at 2.5 inches, turning it the long way and scoring it at 1/2 inch. So essentially you have a big cross along it. Each side is split in half. Now I'm going to fold my score lines on each part so that way I can get them nice and creased so when I put them in the card they work just fine. And now I'm going to take my scissors and cut at a 45-degree angle up to that center score line. The reason you're doing that is because you have to be able to have a spot where the card can fold in on itself. And that's what that notch is doing. That's what it creates. It creates an area for the pop-up part to fold in on itself, and that's what allows you to close your card. So once you get that done, you're going to put your double-sided tape down along by where the notch is. And you want to use a pretty strong double-sided tape for this because it can get away from you. Here you can see I have cut out some of the letters using the uni alphabet dies. I've cut out LOVE, and then I'm just adding some liquid adhesive to the very bottom of the letter. I've layered them up a couple of times with some white cardstock in the background. And then I'm just gluing along the edge of my pop-up piece. And this is why I said you can create pretty much any size card or type of card that you want to create as long as you can fit it on the inside of the card. So if I wanted to have a longer word, I could, instead of cutting my piece of cardstock to 5 inches, I could cut it to 6 inches. You just want to play around with it depending on what you're trying to create on the inside of your card. You could add stamped elements here that you've cut out with a die or something like that. You could add grass fringe and then pop up a little house or anything you want really, you can put onto this pop-up mechanism, which is really nice because it allows you to create all kinds of fun different pop-up cards without any kind of die. It's such an easy way to do it. So once you have that all lined up and you've got your things applied that you want to have on there with your liquid adhesive, you're going to just let it dry for a little bit because you don't want to try and stick it in there right now because your letters or elements or whatever's there, they might shift on you, they might fall off. You don't want to have that. So let it dry, and then you take off your release tape, and again, you want to put that notched portion along the center crease of the card. So you can see there I've got the notched portion, it's lined up, closing my card, pressing down, and look, there it is. Now, isn't that awesome? I love it so much. And you can then also stamp a sentiment on the inside of your card. If you're going to stamp one on the front of your card, you definitely want to do it beforehand. Like I said, it's hard to do once you have that pop-up die put, or that pop-up piece put on the inside of your card. So I'm stamping this sweet sentiment that says "You will forever be my always" from the stamp set, and this is actually going to be an anniversary card for my husband. All right, guys, here's my finished card. This is such a fun way to make a pop-up card. Be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so I can continue bringing you more crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.